Today I am pleased to continue the announcement of the upcoming personal financial planning seminar, which is sponsored by MWM Financial Services and a number of private and public sector organizations, some of which are here today. I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Carl Dawson, who is the president of the H. Laverty South Community College, Maria, who is one of the senior managers in Colonial Insurance, and Albert Whitley, who is a member of the Scholarship Trust Fund Board. These are members of the private and public sector who will be together with us as we present a personal financial planning seminar this Saturday, October 5th, at UP's Cineplex from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So it is indeed an honor and a privilege for us to be here. I think it's clear in terms of the overall economic climate affecting the world that more now than ever, planning for one's financial future and well-being is of vital importance. With many jobs at risk, not only here in the BVI, but in many places in the world. I was just in Cayman Islands, and it was interesting to see the premier of the Cayman Islands giving a lecture before the private sector, indicating that there were 1,900 Cayman nationals that were out of work, and he was encouraging the private sector to employ at least one of them, and it would help the unemployment situation. So it's clear that all over the world, the economic climate and situation demands that we take our personal financial future in hand. And that's what we are trying to do on October 5th. And in so doing, we believe that you must adopt a new way of thinking and of being if you're going to achieve your financial goals. Whether those goals means buying a dream home or sending your kids to college of their choice, or the ability for your families to take vacations or just simply retire financially secure. We want to encourage everyone to take charge or take action and take charge of their financial security during these economically challenging times. Our 6 Pillars of Success Personal Financial Planning Workshop will provide individuals with a blueprint to create financial security and stability in their lives. It will equip them and empower them to break through their financial barriers and limiting belief to begin living and securing their financial future. We go through a stepped approach. We will make sure that individuals are clear about what financial goals are most important to them, and then create an action plan around it, and then really go on to develop a complete financial plan around their personal financial goals. Now, this workshop will take place, as I said, on October 5th and October 12th at UP Cineplex. That's the first phase of it. The workshop will begin with a morning session from 9 to 1 p.m. And during that workshop session, individuals will be able to understand and create a personal vision around their finances. They will get clarity around their financial goals, and they'll have a good idea of what they're planning towards in terms of their financial future over the next 3, 5, and 10 years. And then we'll take a look at what are the investment options that are available for them achieving their financial goals. Now, achieving your financial goals involves many things. For some people, it's building a home. For some people, it's sending their children to school. For some people, it's getting education. For some people, securing your financial goals involves insurance and making sure that you're secured in the event that some event happens that is adverse to your financial condition. And so we've gathered up those resources so that during the workshop, individuals will be able to get up out of the workshop and go speak to the college, go speak to an insurance company, find out information from the Scholarship Trust Fund Board in terms of what are the inputs they need to take into consideration in developing their financial plan. So at this juncture, what I would like to do is is have each of the participants who are here with us today just give us an idea of, you know, what someone can expect if they come to the workshop and actually approach them for information in their respective areas. So I'll start with Dr. Carl Dawson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Malone, for the opportunity afforded the college to take part in the financial planning workshop. When I was first asked about it, I thought it was a tremendous idea. And as you mentioned, especially in these financial times where things are so stringent, measures have to be taken, that it is very important that as far as education is concerned, that individuals, parents, students are well informed to be able to make the choices that allows them to get the education that they desire, but are able to afford to get the education that they desire. Now here in the British Virgin Islands, of course, a number of students benefit from the tuition assistance program offered by the government, where the government reimburses the college for tuition that those students, charges that those students would have incurred. But that's the first step. And sometimes there is need for financial assistance with that. But in addition to that, a lot of the aims of the students are a baccalaureate degree. And so they're looking towards additional years beyond our associate degree offering to be able to earn and reach to their particular goal. As a matter of fact, most of the students attending the college, quite a number of them, they have two goals. One, those who are preparing themselves to go directly into the workplace, or those who are seeking to go on to further education. For those seeking to go on to further education, we really will be trying to advise them as far as the planning steps are concerned. That it's not too early to think about the school that you're going to. You need to be thinking and making contact with that school, for instance, what program you're going in, and even in terms of what is the best way and all the courses that can be taken at the HLSCC level. Especially if you're part of a tuition assistance program where you're reimbursed for taking those courses, or even if you are not a part of the tuition assistance program, the rates that we charge for our courses are far different than what many persons would encounter if they were to go abroad. So you can be an efficient learner and an efficient student as far as earning a degree by taking as many courses as possible here and having less to take in order to complete at a institution overseas. So we'll be talking about and advising about those issues. We'll be advising in terms of the things that make the transition from our associate degree level here to baccalaureate degree smoother. We'll have on hand individuals from a registrar's office, individuals dealing with transfer counseling, everything that will help those individuals to make that smooth transition. So it's very important, the financial planning that has to take place, and the key piece with that is going to be information. Yes. It's going to be information. What information do I have about the program I want to do, about the schools I want to go, are the options, even as you look, if you go to the United States, as you go from state to state, because the cost of living in various states, you're going to find different costs as far as tuition is concerned. And you may say, well, yes, I will endure the bitter cold in Idaho as opposed to something North Carolina or something closer to the East Coast, because it makes better financial sense for me and I'm comfortable with the quality of education that we receive. So we'll have folks on hand to sit and talk with you individually, and whatever answers we do not have right there on the spot, we'll help you to guide you to that, as well as we ourselves will help to research to make sure that you are well informed in this very critical stage of planning for the education for yourself or for your children.
Fantastic. Now, while we're still on education, we'll have Mr. Albert Whitley, member of the Scholarship Trust Fund Board, will also give a few comments.
Thank you, Mr. Malone, and we are certainly thrilled to have an opportunity to participate in the Pillars of Success seminar coming up. One of the realities of life as a parent at one point in time has to be, how do I pay for my children's education, particularly college education? And one of the things that the Scholarship Trust Fund Board does is is provide such funding for parents, for students. It's done through the Ministry of Education and Culture. And let me make it clear, it is not to be confused with the scholarship. It's a different entity. It's actually a lending program where you actually make a loan for funding for your students. And we will be there on Saturday to provide information to parents who may be wondering, well, what can I do? What options are out there? And I think, like Mr. Dawson said, Dr. Dawson and Ms. Malone said, the key is really information and knowing. And if you're going to plan, you have to be aware of what's out there, what's possible. So we will be there on Saturday. We invite parents to come by. It is very affordable. The one thing I can tell you before Saturday, and I wouldn't tell you anything else, you'll have to come out on Saturday to find out the rest of it, is that once you get a loan, while the student is in college, you only pay the interest payment on the loan. And upon completion of the studies, then you actually begin to pay, in essence, for the loan. So it's extremely affordable. But to get the rest of it, we look forward to seeing you on Saturday. Myself and members of the Scholarship Trust Fund Board will be on hand to answer all your questions. We'll have brochures, flyers, actual registration forms if you want to register or apply on hand. But we look forward to meeting you, and we are very excited about this. I think it is extremely timely that we're having this. But at the end of the day, if you're going to be successful financially, you need information, and we are glad to be a part of this.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We'll now have Maria representing Colonial Insurance.
Thank you, Mr. Malone, and good morning to everyone. I would like to, first of all, again, express thanks to MAID for inviting us, Colonial Insurance, to be a part of this expo. And we're very excited, actually, to be there. We do feel that, as Dr. Dawson and Mr. Wheatley mentioned, information is a key. We have persons out there, individuals who already have insurance, but they are not aware of what the cover is, the benefits are. So we're going to be there on Saturday, October the 5th, and we're going to have our booth. My colleague and I, Mr. Carlton O'Neill, he'll be there to give advice on the group medical plans and life insurance, pension insurance, and I'll also be there to give advice on auto insurance, property insurance, and business insurance. And we would like to be there to help you, give you information. It's not only brochures and leaflets that we will hand out, but we will help you to even give advice on the coverage that you have and compare policies so that you will know going forward what is the best choice for you. As Mead mentioned, unlocking your financial freedom and living up to the life you deserve. That is something that we also subscribe to, and one of the things that we look for at Colonial Insurance is to ensure that you have the best product that fits your needs. So we will have a booth, as I mentioned earlier. We will display our company services, the products that we sell, and we're basically asking you to come out to be a part of this, to ask us any questions. If we don't have the answers right there, we will get back to you. We'll take your name and number. And we also at this time want to offer that at the expo, if you come out anytime between 9 and 4, we will have a special offer for you once you sign up at our desk.
Fantastic. Just to highlight the general public to some of the other participants, we'll have Banco Popular, Scotia Bank, First Caribbean, First Bank, Nagico Insurance, and Merrill Lynch will also be participants in the expo. Again, the expo and workshop is from 9 to 1, which is a formal sit down. And during that workshop, participants will engage with the different companies in terms of just gathering information and then learning how to put that information in terms of developing a financial plan for themselves. And then after that period, then the participants will remain around so people can move around the desks and really just get information that they may not have gotten during the 9 to 1 period. So I want to encourage you to come out. I think it's going to be a very informative day. I was particularly thrilled that the public and private sector institutions are coming together in this way, where you can have all the information in one place, in one shot, whether you are planning to build a home, purchase a home, attend college or university for yourself or your children. A big part of your planning for your financial future is to make sure it's secure, so that in the event of illness or a hurricane or some catastrophe, that you can still continue on and not lose everything that you've accumulated over your lifetime. And so all of those things are there to be taken into account. Plus, in terms of how you invest your funds going forward, we'll have lots of information about that, including all of the legal matters that you need to consider in doing these things. We'll have a lawyer on hand to give you some legal advice and what it would cost in terms of getting that legal advice to do the transactions that you want to do in the future. So I want to encourage you to come out. Tons of information, really great participation, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday and then again on the 12th of October. Thank you very much. And then any questions?
From what we hear at the table, it seems to be a lot of focus on youth and their investment in their education. Why the specific target, if so be the case?
Well, actually, it's not specifically targeted for youth, but we mention education because a lot of parents have to plan for the educating of their children. And so we're asking parents to come out and to make sure that they gather up the information and be able to understand, how they're going to pay for the education. Because a lot of times people don't, take account of all the costs. I have a daughter in school, and just the tuition is just one piece of it. But what about the travel to and fro, and the housing, and the food, and you have, as Dr. Dawson was saying, if they're in a climate where it's cold, you got to buy special clothing for them, seasonal clothing, and so there's quite a bit that you may want to consider. We also are going to let you be highlighted, for instance, on things that impact a family that wants to a couple that wants to start a family. There was some recent research that shows the median cost to raise a child from birth to 18 is $241,000. That's the median cost. And I don't, when you're making a decision about raising a family, it's a financial decision because you need to have the finances in place in order to be able to raise that child, all right? And so we will be addressing and just highlighting people to all of those matters, and how then do you plan, sit down, run the numbers concerning it, and put an action plan in place in order to achieve those things.
Okay, as is seen, I remember you were at the recent Rotary event, and there was a lot of talk about where families direct their funds. How are you going to be able to tackle issues like those?
Well, as part of the whole series of workshops, one of the things that we do is we, not in this one particularly, but in the one to follow, we help family create a budget. And what it starts with is just tracking where you spend your money now. I mean, a lot of people on a month-to-month basis don't know where their money is going. They have a vague idea, but not a specific idea. So we'll sit down and help people to track, where are you spending your money? What is it going to? And then once you're able to do that, then what we do is we take your financial goals and we sit down and we do a budget with those goals in mind. And then you need to make some tough choices about your money. Because if you want to achieve those goals, there are choices that you have to make. All of us have to make those choices. It may be choices around how much you spend on clothing. It may be choices around how much you spend on leisure. It may be choices around, how you spend your money in the food and all of those, transportation. So we help you, and it may be choices around delaying purchasing the new car until you get your child through college. You may drive that car a little bit longer. And don't look at the new model. It may be choices around the plan that you adopt for your phone plan. You may say, instead of the $199 plan, I want a $99 plan. And and I won't make the kinds of calls I used to make because I need that extra $100 to put away towards my child education. So, those are the things that we will do in these workshops, in the series of workshops.
Okay. the level of family, the level of private and public sector has a great influence on governance at the national level. Could you share with me your view as to how you see the financial status of the country affecting the civil servants at this time?
Well, I don't know how the financial status affects the civil service. I think I am not really in a position to speak on that because I don't know the details of government's own finances. But I do know that these are challenging times all over the world. And so I think it's incumbent on all of us to just do a financial checkup. You go to the doctor and, things don't look quite right or feel right, you go do a checkup. I think now is the time for everyone to do a financial checkup. Whether you believe that everything is well or not, you just need to do a checkup. And that's what these series of workshops will do. It allow people to do a financial checkup and just look at how things are structured, how they are in their lives. Because what we find is that, jobs that were seemed secure in the past, all of a sudden are not as secure. And so, do you have, or any reserve if you were to be laid off? Is there any reserve that you have? Can you survive 1 month, 2 months, 3 months? What's the plan if you have to do that? What will you cut back on? What are the areas that you can, that are, are just discretionary spending that you can know immediately, these are the areas I need to pull back on, and I can survive for X number of months, in the event that happens to me or anyone in my family. And sometimes it may not be, it may be that you have a couple or a husband and wife, and their combined salaries is what's necessary to carry the household. What if one of them gets laid off? Then all of a sudden things change dramatically also. So these are things that we're just going to explore. It's not a dooms story. It's just to be prudent and to be wise around your finances. Yeah? Anything else? Anyone else wants to add? All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming.